Chapter 23: Accounting for a Moneyless Economy. One of the most difficult questions facing any alternative economic system is deceptively simple. How do we measure value without relying on money? If the Federated Stewardship Village Network is designed so that members do not exchange wages internally, how can the system track productivity, understand costs, and communicate its value to the outside world? The solution lies in recognizing that a functioning economic system must track specific kinds of value for distinct purposes. Inside the community, the goal is fairness and cooperation rather than competition. Outside the community, however, the network must still interact with the broader monetary economy. To reconcile these two realities, the stewardship network operates with three distinct accounting systems: a time ledger, a value ledger, and a cash ledger. Each serves a precise function, and together they create a transparent and resilient economic structure. The time ledger forms the foundation of the internal economy. Within the community, labor is not bought and sold. Instead, members contribute time toward the shared functioning of the village. Every form of work, whether gardening, cooking, childcare, education, infrastructure maintenance, healthcare, or governance, is recorded simply as hours contributed. In this system, an hour of labor from a physician is counted the same as an hour of labor from a gardener or carpenter. The purpose of the time ledger is not to calculate wages or distribute personal rewards. Rather, it ensures that the community as a whole is contributing enough labor to sustain itself. It allows the village to see where labor is abundant, where shortages may exist, and how work is distributed across essential functions. Most importantly, it reinforces a cultural principle central to the stewardship model. All forms of work that sustain life have equal dignity. While the time ledger maintains fairness inside the community, it does not provide a clear picture of economic value when communicating with the outside world. For this purpose, the network uses a second system known as the value ledger, sometimes referred to as a shadow valuation system. This ledger assigns approximate market equivalents to the work performed within the community. For example, if a trained chef contributes 20 hours to preparing meals for the village, those hours might be recorded in the value ledger using the prevailing market rate for professional culinary services. A solar technician maintaining the village energy systems might be recorded using the market rate for skilled electrical work. A naturopathic practitioner providing preventative care might be valued according to the typical rates for integrative medical services. Importantly, these valuations are not used to pay individuals or to rank members according to the market value of their skills. The value ledger exists purely as a transparency tool. It allows the community to estimate the total economic value of what it produces and distributes each year. By converting hours of work into market equivalents, the network can understand the scale of its internal economy and communicate that value clearly to investors, retreat participants, researchers, and policymakers. It also allows the community to estimate the true cost of services that are offered to the outside world. The third accounting system is the cash ledger, which tracks the village network's interactions with the external monetary economy. Although internal life in the villages is organized around time and stewardship rather than wages, the network cannot be completely isolated from the broader world. Certain goods and services must still be purchased externally. Specialized equipment, rare materials, regulatory costs, and some forms of medical care may require monetary exchange. At the same time, the network generates income through a variety of outward-facing enterprises. These may include wellness retreats, agricultural products, educational programs, handcrafted goods, research partnerships, or other services aligned with the community's values. The cash ledger records these flows of money in and out of the system. Its purpose is to ensure that the network remains financially stable while interacting with the broader economy. By carefully tracking income from retreats, product sales, and other ventures, the community can cover external expenses while gradually increasing its level of internal self-reliance. Together, these three ledgers provide a balanced economic framework. The time ledger preserves equality and cooperation within the community. The value ledger provides transparency and economic understanding. The cash ledger enables responsible engagement with the outside world. By keeping these functions separate, the Stewardship Village network avoids two common pitfalls that have undermined many intentional communities in the past. Some communities attempt to ignore economic reality entirely, hoping that goodwill alone will sustain the system. Others gradually recreate internal wage hierarchies that mirror the inequalities of the broader market economy. The three-ledger model avoids both extremes. One of the most powerful outcomes of this system is the ability to calculate the true value of community membership. Because the value ledger tracks the market equivalent of services provided internally, the network can estimate the total economic benefit received by members. Housing, nutritious food, healthcare, education, childcare, utilities, cultural life, and community infrastructure all have real costs in the outside world. When these are provided collectively through stewardship labor, the total value distributed to each member can be substantial. For example, the combined market cost of housing, organic food, preventative health care, childcare, education, and shared infrastructure could easily reach tens of thousands of dollars per person annually in the conventional economy. Yet within the village network, these benefits are made possible through cooperative labor rather than individual income. A member might contribute significantly fewer hours of stewardship work each week while receiving a level of security and well-being that would otherwise require a much higher personal income to achieve independently. In this way, cooperation multiplies the effectiveness of human labor. To maintain transparency and accountability, the network will publish an annual community value report summarizing its economic activity. This report would include the total number of stewardship hours contributed by members, the estimated market value of those contributions, the income generated through external enterprises, and the value of goods and services distributed internally. Such reports would allow observers to see that the villages are not merely surviving through idealism, but are operating as highly productive economic systems organized around cooperation rather than competition. It is important, however, that the shadow valuations recorded in the value ledger never become a source of status or hierarchy within the community. The purpose of assigning market equivalents to labor is purely analytical. A surgeon's work may have a higher market rate than gardening or childcare, but the internal culture of the village must never allow these numbers to influence respect, decision-making power, or social standing. If shadow values begin to determine prestige or authority, the system would gradually drift back toward the very inequalities it was designed to transcend. By maintaining clarity about the purpose of each ledger, the Federated Stewardship Village Network can operate as a post-market cooperative economy, a system in which the necessities of life are secured through shared stewardship, while transparent accounting allows the community to remain grounded in economic reality. In this model, money becomes a tool for interacting with the outside world rather than the organizing principle of daily life. Time, care, and responsibility become the true currency of the community, while transparency ensures that the system remains both fair and sustainable for generations to come.